नमस्ते, हमेशा खुश रहो बिटिया. I am JVN Dr. Lily Trivedi, and today I am going to take the lecture of BSCBED-ZBC 4th semester, and the paper is Anatomy, Ecology and Evolution, and the session is Biodiversity. Today we are going to discuss a general account of biodiversity. Now, let us start with what is biodiversity. Now we all know bio means biological organism and diversity means the various variety present in the atmosphere. So we can also say that biodiversity refers to the variety and variability among all groups of living organisms and the ecosystem complexes in which they occur. So you can find from the driest desert to the dense tropical rainforest, from the high snow-clad mountain peaks to the deepest of ocean trenches, the life is there in the marvelous spectrum of form, size, color, shape, and they have a unique ecological interrelationship. So this diversity is only what keeps us enthralled. Now, in the convention of biological diversity, the biodiversity has been defined as variability among living organisms from all sources, including inter alia, terrestrial, marine, and other aquatic ecosystem, and the ecological complexes of which they are a part. Now, biodiversity means that there should be some ethical and moral values also. Because in biodiversity, we have to conserve what is present on the earth. Man is only a part of of the earth's great family of species. But do we live with plants and animals equally? Do we give them an equal right to live and exist on our planet? We do know that life also exists somewhere in the universe, but do we have the right to destroy life or should we protect them? So the economic importance of conserving biodiversity is that there are several cultural and moral values, ethical values, which are associated with the sanctity of all forms of life. The Indian civilization has over generations preserved this local tradition in which we offer prayers and to different biodiversity. We worship different plants, we worship different animals. Now in our country, a large number of sacred groves or deoraris are preserved by tribals in several states. Now they are the sacred sites and temples which act as a gene bank for wildlife. If we see the biodiversity aesthetic value, apart from the aesthetic value, it is important for tourist attraction also. The biodiversity presents a beautiful and wonderful aspect of the nature. If we sit down and observe, we see the birds, we see the spider, we see the fish. So these are the importance of nature. We also have symbols of wildlife species in different religions, such as lion in Hinduism, elephant in Buddhism, and several vehicles of our Lord have also been in the form of animals which we worship and they provide them sanctity. Now, we have Tulsi present in our doorsteps for centuries. Apart from the medicinal value, Tulsi has always been our religious value for us. Now we also have the option value, the future possibilities to use the animal and plants for our great use, to improve the cultivars, to have the, new varieties of crops, to improve the animals and preserve the biodiversity present. So biodiversity is present at three levels: the global biodiversity, the national biodiversity, and the local biodiversity. Now, if we look at the levels of biodiversity, we will also see that there is genetic biodiversity, there is species biodiversity. So all these diversities are, and we have the ecosystem diversity. So these are all the types of biodiversity which we will be studying in the next few lectures. Now, India has been classified according to biogeography. We have the Trans-Himalayan region, the Himalayan region, the desert region, the semi-arid, the Western Ghats, the Deccan Peninsula, and the Gangetic Plain. Now, they have been classified according to the heights above sea level. We also have the Northeast India, the islands, and the coastal regions. So the value of biodiversity is immense in these regions. Now, biodiversity is, we use biodiversity for in relation to consumption value. So what we have, the food and the biodiversity, we have 80,000 edible plant species, 90% are food crops which have been domesticated. The wild relatives of these crops are having better tolerance and better resistance. The drugs and the medicines, not to mention the tetracycline, which we get, the penicillin, and the digitalin. We also have the vinblastine and the vincristine. Now these are all available from the plants. In the form of fuel also, we have been using our biodiversity for coal, petroleum, natural gas. We also have productive value. We have the wild animals which are being used. We have the animal products, the elephants, the deer, the silkworm, the sheep, the animals, black insect, etc. Their products have always been used. Then we have the paper and pulp industry, silk industry, textile industry, leather industry, pearl industry, etc. So the rich biodiversity centers and the wildlife products have been long used. They have also been a source for smuggling. Now the social values, we have the people, mango, lotus, tulsi, bale, cow, snake, bull, peacock, owl. So these are all having different social importance. All life must be preserved, live and let live has been the motto of our league. So, but we are sorry that many of the species are now no longer present, like the passenger pigeon and the dodo. Now, we also have the ecosystem service value. If you'll ask me how it is, the ecosystem is self-maintained, and if it is disturbed, there is soil erosion, there is flood, there is loss of life, there is global warming, there is pollution, etc. So it has to be maintained. Now, if we refer to the global diversity, there is now the Earth Summit, which takes into view the problems of the biodiversity which is occurring. We have the terrestrial biodiversity, that is the Earth, which is described in the form of biome. The tropical rainforest is a typical biome, the savannas, the deserts, and the tundras. More than 50 to 80% of global biodiversity lies in the rainforest. But as we all know now, due to recent activities, much of the biodiversity was destroyed, the tropical rainforest, the Australian forest. But since the attack of the coronavirus, COVID-19, and the lockdown, much has been restored. All the pollution created by human beings through various agencies has been under check. Now we have some other biological diversities. If we come to the Indian ranks 10th among the plant-rich countries of the world, and it has a biodiversity level. There are 25 biodiversity hotspots in the world, in which India also possesses two, one in the northeast region and one in the western Ghats. So India is a mega diversity nation. We have the Ministry of Environment and Forest has recorded about 47,000 species of plants, which are being increased day by day, and 81,000 species of animals. So the hotspots of biodiversity, what are hotspots? They are areas which exhibit high species richness as well as high species endemism are termed as hotspots of biodiversity. So students, I hope you have found my lecture interesting today. So it was a simple introduction, and if you have any query, please write in the comment box. I will resolve it soon. In the further lectures, we will be taking the details of our biodiversity. So this digital session was powered by 2.0 version of Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. Thank you. Namaste.